Okay, so let me take the first part, the fear that it's going to create the genetic caste system. I think that tends to come up in the context of heritable forms, and as I said, I think that the numbers are incredibly small. So I don't fear that very much. We already have a biological caste system, and it's not because of genetic editing, and it's not even because of other genetic technologies like pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. It's because from the very first moment after conception, there are some people whose nutrition and physical environment and subsequent education are going to definitely lead to a healthier outcome. So we already have that. And I can't imagine that gene editing could ever play a role that comes even close to the scale of effect that those very common phenomena already have: nutrition, environment, and education. Could it be used, however, to even the playing field? A little bit, but it takes a new way of thinking about how to use the technology. So, example, I think I mentioned sickle cell in passing during the presentation. Right now, the way in which we're doing sickle cell trials in the United States has been to have somebody who is going to have blood taken away. The blood is then engineered outside the body, and then it is reintroduced into the body. It also requires bone marrow transplants, and it's incredibly expensive, and it requires sophisticated hospitals. That is simply not going to be feasible in many parts of West Africa, and yet that's where the disease is most prevalent. So from very early days, the Gates Foundation began investing in trying to figure out how to do this thing with sickle cell editing in a fashion that would be usable in areas that have fewer hospitals or less money to spend on a particular patient. And so they're looking at so-called in vivo. Instead of taking the blood out of the body, is there some way we could simply inject something into somebody that would then start a chain reaction that changes the cells in the body? That might be a far more feasible way of doing this. And in that sense, we can look to ways to, from the very beginning, try and imagine a delivery system for these technologies that is location appropriate, and not only build it for our own country, but build it for the globe. So yes, it can do that. But again, I don't think that that's going to be the answer to the scale of inequities that are caused by nutrition, environment, and education, which I think really are where we want to start.